And what's up, guys? This is Astranox. Today I'm going to be showcasing one of my favorite hero in Epic 7, and it's the ML Basar. He was buffed. He's even better now. To me, he's an amazing hero. A lot of players might not think so because they just look at his base speed, which is low, and it's easy to get outsped when you are using him. But he's very flexible. You can fit him in various teams and catch a lot of players off guard. So I love that about him, and he's 15 skill ups. He heals based on the target's max health. So if you have him with a bunch of heroes with a lot of health, then he's gonna heal for more, and it also heals based on his attack. So if you have attack buff, you can squeeze extra bit of healing out of that. Now, what was changed on this hero? He heals for more, and the skill 3 actually now triggers the passive. So that's cool. And also, you take 30% less damage from a critical hit when this thing is not on cooldown. So if you get outsped, Assassin Sid, Assassin Coley, like whoever opens on you and try to take out the ML Basar, he's going to take less damage from a critical hit. So that's really, really nice. So this skill 3 is insane because it dispels all debuffs, all of them, and then grants you immunity buff for 3 turns, and then boost combatness by 30%. This thing is loaded, and 30% combatness is huge, so you can have slower heroes in your team, and that's great. You need less speed on them. So the healing is actually pretty solid, and here the stun comes in real handy when it triggers, man. And there's a lot of times in RTA that stuff like happened back to back, and a lot of players, some players, I made them quit because I kept triggering the stun, and I've won battles because of that skill 1 stun. It's ridiculous. The Soul Burn allows you to turn this into an AoE attack, and you've got multiple chances to stun them. You can potentially stun their whole team. Didn't happen to me yet. I think the best is 3 targets a few times that happened to me. I have him built on account 1 and on account number 3. This is account number 3 on the Europe server because I have heroes bruisers, and I want to test him with bruisers. Well, I test him. I know how he performs. I want to show you guys how he performs after the buff. So the healing with the Soul Burn is much greater. Like, he heals for way more. You can surprise a lot of players if you have him paired with like squishy heroes, damage dealers. He can top them off almost, and that is crazy. Like, you can win battles because of that. Ridiculous. You might want to save your souls for when you start taking some damage, and then you just, like, you know, top your team back up, which is great. So yes, the ML Basar, amazing hero in my eyes. Oh yes, the imprint. You've got health for the rest of the team with the imprint release, which is actually quite good. For himself, effect resistance, you can build him with a bunch of effect resistance on the slower side to go after like a Basar or something like that. I prefer to just have as much speed as possible, a decent amount of health and defense, and some effectiveness. That's the way that I prefer building him. And you can see my gear is not the greatest. It's actually pretty decent, but it's hard to increase his speed to high levels because his base speed is low. His base health is very low, so that's why you can go with flat health on the main stat of your ring, on your jewelry, right? And that's cool. That's cool because not a lot of heroes can put that to good use, right? And even flat health on the sub stat. So pretty solid. I have him on Celestine because that's even more healing. If he gets called in a duo attack, he will trigger Celestine as well as the passive. So that makes up for a lot of sometimes unexpected healing. The opponent might be like, what just happened, man? Like, yeah, and they might think he is too squishy, and you might be able to build him sort of where I've built him. So yeah, I definitely like this hero, and I'll try to show you guys how well he performs in this team. We're fighting Ceres, and he's a great counter to her because she can just go, right? In Arena and Guild War, she's gonna go. We know she's gonna use skill number 3, and he just counters that, right? He strips, I mean, he removes those debuffs and just gives immunity and push the combatness of the whole team. There we go. Easy peasy. And then I got my attack buffer, speed buffer, and then we're just gonna unload a bunch of damage at them, right? So yes, you can definitely be using him in a team like this. You can cleave with him if you feel confident you're going to be going first. But versus a Ceres in RTA, if you don't have immunity, they might just end up using the skill 2 and stun him. So that's something to watch out for. But now he takes, he can take less damage when his skill 3 is available, so he might be able to survive their damage, and then he starts healing the team, and, well, you guys know, starts to put his kit to good use. So that's really cool. Really cool the way he works. Very happy that he got buffed. I was expecting that he would get buffed because he is not being used much at all. So you can see he landed a stun there, and Politis landed a stun as well. And yeah, if dual attacks are happening, he's gonna be healing, so that's perfect. So Arbiter Veldred, easy peasy, comes back. Oh my god. Just triggers the Gab, the greater attack buff. My god. Disgusting hero. I only have him on account number 3, but he is completely overpowered. So you can see, like, we're able to sustain the team. Like, the team's still alive. And Politis was almost dead. And look at her. Like, she's getting healed. And now they cannot take her out so easily. Like, look at that. Like, she's almost back to full. Yes, he doesn't heal that much per skill 1 or skill 3, but over time it is crazy, especially if you trigger dual attack, and with Celestine it is amazing. But if you are using heroes with high health pools, he's gonna be healing for way more, so that's really powerful. Yeah, pretty nice. So something that I've shown in the past was that you can just have DJ Basar in your team for arena offense and just auto with him, right? So right now he got silenced. You know, not so good, but he's taking 30% less damage from a critical hit, so remember that. And as soon as he gets his stuff going, you know, triggers the skill 3 and starts healing, it's gonna be great. So let's see how long this thing takes. As soon as we get the fans buff up, it's gonna be great. Now you got Celestine to trigger there, and that's providing more healing. Now the issue is that he's got unable to be buff debuff, so he's not gonna be getting, you know, the defense buff. So let's see if he's able to survive up until the end. This team can actually do quite a bit of damage, and you know, we've got Assassin Sid, which is not gonna leave him alone because he's light and you know, dark attacks light. So yeah, but DJ Basar, definitely a hero that a lot of players might not expect how good he performs. So you can see here 3.5k healing on himself, so the Celestine actually targeted him. And this is a plus 15 Celestine, guys. That thing, there's room for improvement. The stats can definitely be better. And I mean, they're just going down, man. Look how little damage he's taking. It's great. We've got Aureus also. So we've got Barrier initially, Aureus. We don't have Adam and Shield, but he's taking 30% less damage from a critical hit. Now that thing is not activated anymore. So at least, you know, we got the immunity to go off, and we got some healing. And that healing is consistent, like it's constant, I mean, healing, which is insane. Look at that, look at that. Almost 6,000 healing on Fallen Cecilia. He just works, man. And this is not a combationist, you know, cleave team. Like, this is not a speed, single target burst. It's just a turn 2 team, basically, but sometimes you can go first. You can go first, and you can surprise some players off guard. You know, like if your bruisers are fast enough to follow up after him, then there you go. Look at that healing, like it's constantly happening, and he's still alive. And these guys are dealing quite a bit of damage. Of course, it's arena, and it's the AI, and you can bait the elements so he doesn't get targeted, and that's something you can look out for. If you like, okay, I'm gonna be bringing him in there and part of my auto arena offense, then just look for a team that will not have too many dark heroes to just take him out of the equation too fast. So yeah, and the healing, look at that. That is an insane amount of healing, and the Celestine definitely helps. And when he gets called in a dual attack, that's even more healing. Love it, love it. Okay, in this team, I got Last Rider Craw and Blood Moon Haste. Let's just turn this thing. Let's just put this thing on auto. So, once again, Assassin Sid just silencing him. Of course, if I had immunity set and I would have like high speed, I would go for that. But that's not the case. So, this is on auto. So, you know, of course, I would not just trigger, like pop the skill 3 of Blood Moon Haze straight off the bat, unless I really wanted to take out someone ASAP. So you can see the survivability is there, and Assassin Sid's almost down. Of course, having, you know, a barrier, having an Aureus, having, let's say, a defense buff, which I don't have in this team, but that stuff helps a lot to keep him alive. And I mean, as long as you survive initially, you're gonna be fine. And that 30% less damage from critical hit helps a ton. That's a huge damage reduction right there. So this is going pretty well. And dual attack right there, look at that. 3000 healing on Last Rider Crow. It would have healed for another dual attack. It would have healed for even more if he had, well, less health. So look at that. Like, he can also sustain the team when you are, you know, the arena damage. Let's say this battle lasts for quite a few turns. Well, he can just sustain that whole damage for a long time. And you see the healing. If you have him paired with a bunch of bruisers, he heals for over 3000 per hero. And the highest arena damage that you can take is, what is it again? I remember 3000. Maybe it goes up to 4500, but he can do really good in that department. And on top of everything else that he brings to the table, like, that healing is not all his kit. So you gotta remember that. So like I said, he's a very flexible hero, and he helps in so many different situations. This is great. It's hard to justify pulling for a hero like that, but if you somehow got lucky and you managed to pull him outside of Mystic Summons, then yeah, you should not sit on this hero. Like, especially with all the series, you know, in everywhere. RTA, Arena, even Guild War. Look, healing, bunch of healing. Great. Okay, let's see what happens here. They have a lot of damage, and well, let's just see what actually happens. So we went first, and well, if they do go first with a series, it's all good if she uses skill number 3. Now, what would be really powerful is if I had the fans buff to follow up, which is sort of gonna be the case, but Crow's a bit too slow, so he's lagging behind, and now we're gonna have Remnant Vault that will go first. But it is okay, because now we have Skill Nullifier. So what I recommend is that if you're using him, you should have a defense buffer that will follow right after he pushes the combat units. Don't have that hero too slow. Like, my Lancia is too slow, and if she was faster, like 200 speed, maybe like 180, 190, she would be able to pull through, and that would be great. So I want to see the survivability of the team versus Arbiter Vildred that comes back to life. He doesn't have great attack buff. Let's say it's 75% more damage that he deals here. Okay, the Sergio Bazaar took quite a beating, so that's pretty rough, and he's gonna get targeted by Remnant Violet, so it definitely hurts. So let's see how much that healing is. Oh my god, it's so much damage, man. He's still alive, but look at his health. Barrier from Fawn CC, and now the healing here, 3500. It's pretty good. Now, oh my god, there we go. Okay, it is Crow. So I'm just running this on auto. Oh, not a care in the world. It's all good. We're just checking his performance here. And man, those dual attacks are brutal. He's still alive. My god, he's going down here, unfortunately. Wait, oh, he cut. He did cut, no provoke. Oh, god. Crow's so fast with the speed buff too. Man, he went down before. That is crazy. He almost went down though. Twice he had like a sliver of health. That was insane though. Okay, Steadfast Gatekeeper is pretty cool on Last Rider. He's getting, well, maybe he gained the whole turn because of that artifact throughout the battle. Look at that healing, it's so good. And now, as soon as you start taking, you know, their damage like in a RTA battle, let's say, they start to run out of steam. Now, Last Rider, yes, he can deal quite a bit of damage with the frenzy and all that, but you have time to top yourself off and just stop using AoE attacks and just, you know, maybe you want to take him last. In this case, yes, a lot of times I just take him last and you can just chain provoke him and he cannot do his skill number 3, or you might just end up landing a stun with the, you know, DJ Basar. So the healing is so good when you have him with a very healthy team with high health pools. And let's just see at the numbers here at the end of the battle. Look at that. Look at that. It's great, man. So good. So he was, well, there's Fallen Cecilia that provides sustain as well with the barrier, but look at that, man. 68,000. It wasn't too many rounds, and we took quite a beating early on, but that defense buff came in super clutch. The Aureus was very good. The barriers from Fallen CC, like this team, yeah, very, very tough team to take down. But he's light and there's a lot of very big threats that are dark, so you gotta watch out for that. If you're looking for an emulator to play Ephixa 7 or other mobile games, the one that I use personally is in the description of the video with the instruction on how to install it properly. So let us know what you guys think about the Sergio Basar in the comments section. But that's gonna be it for this one. I'm Astranox. Good luck with all you do. Peace out for now.